LeBron, when he came into the league and there was so much hype around him, he also was somebody who signed a $100+ million, his contract.
And it may not be till 2026, 2027. LeBron James had his own signature shoe his rookie year.
What do Nike and Trump have in common? They both fumbled their golden opportunity with a rising star. Nike had Caitlin Clark, the basketball equivalent of finding a winning lottery ticket, and they treated her like she was as valuable as Trump's tax returns. Now, Adidas is stepping in like a savvy politician at a fundraiser, ready to make it rain campaign promises. Dollar bills. They're offering Clark more money, more attention, and probably a throne made of basketball leather. Is this the biggest corporate fumble since Blockbuster passed on buying Netflix? When Nike signed Caitlin Clark, did they think they were being smart? They're as intelligent as a box of pebbles wearing Air Jordans, it turns out. For the sportswear behemoth, Nike's first $28 million agreement with Clark over 8 years appeared obvious.
It seems to me that it is more on the political side as to why Caitlin Clark is not getting the praise, the commercials, the ads, the merch, all of the things.
However, they made a huge mistake, much like Grumpy Trumpy when he tried to read a teleprompter. To begin with, Nike was late in releasing Clark's signature sneaker. It would be equivalent to giving a child a cake for their birthday and then delivering a half-baked potato instead. Nike is sitting on their hands as if they're waiting for an unfulfilled bus, while Clark has been setting records and making buckets of rain like it's monsoon season.
Turn pro, and despite a signature shoe being part of Nike's agreement with Clark, it may not be released until 2026.
Speaking of performances that smash records, Clark has been lighting up scoreboards more quickly than Trump's attorneys can appeal. However, where is Nike's promotion? Crickets. They seem to have forgotten about her existence after signing her. Nike is plastering LeBron James's visage on billboards from here to Timbuktu while he sneezes.
Hundreds of millions of dollar contract with Nike coming out of high school. LeBron had a shoe going into his first season. They didn't skip a beat.
But hold on, things get worse. Nike is going to pay a heavy price for their mistake. Their inaction may constitute a breach of contract in addition to being bad business. That's correct, people. In a lie detector test, Nike might find themselves in greater trouble than Donnie Diapers. By not fulfilling their commitments and giving Clark insufficient promotion, they have effectively given her a pass to avoid jail time. Let's now contrast this with Nike's treatment of LeBron, their golden kid. Nike makes it a national holiday when King James speaks.
LeBron, when he came into the league and there was so much hype around him, he also was somebody who signed a $100+ million, his contract.
He receives clothing lines, branded shoes, and if they can pull it off, his face on the moon. However, Clark, her chances of sighting Bigfoot are greater than those of her own Nike billboard. As if Nike had made a bigger mess than Trump when it came to spelling Cuff, Adidas steps on stage. What does $20 million sound like? Adidas is allegedly throwing Clark that type of money. The worst part, though, is that it's not just about the Benjamins. Nixon seems like an amateur thanks to Adidas's cunning scheme. Yes, you heard correctly. Adidas jumped in with an offer sweeter than Donnie's hairspray, while Nike was busy treating Clark like a bench warmer.
Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise.
Over 4 years, we're talking about $20 million, which equates to a cool $5 million annually. That's more than twice as much as Nike was providing. It's as if Adidas decided to improve on Nike's strategy after discovering it in the trash.
Adidas, however, in the same way that Trump lays out, they're providing her signature shoe, something Nike couldn't bring itself to deliver. Is it really true Nike couldn't even provide her with a sneaker bearing her name despite having the hottest thing in women's basketball? From here to Timbuktu, Adidas is prepared to plaster Clark's visage on every sneaker.
Nike wants to prioritize Asia Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star.
Furthermore, Adidas has a hidden weapon that makes it appear as though Adidas is playing 4D chess and Nike is playing checkers. They intend to make Clark a household name, particularly in Europe. They seem to be asking, America? That's adorable. We intend to elevate Clark above the European Union. Adidas has a track record of making athletes famous before Trump can post fake news. Do you recall Damian Lillard and James Harden? These people were transformed into celebrities by Adidas. They now want to do the same thing with Clark, but on a larger scale. The contract situation for Clark is more tangled than Trump's toupee in a windstorm, so people, hold on to your sneakers. Imagine if I told you that she may leave Nike before you could say, just do it. It turns out that Clark's contract contains a secret weapon that will make Nike sweat more than Grumpy Trumpy at a spelling bee. Known as a breach clause, it is essentially the sports equivalent of the get out of jail free card. Clark can bid the swoosh farewell without facing a lawsuit if Nike fails to fulfill their half of the agreement. Well done with ketchup, of course, but this is where it gets more juicy than a Trump steak. Nike has been making mistakes more frequently than Donnie diapers. Clark still has a big fat nothing, despite their promise of a signature shoe. It's similar like ordering a Big Mac and receiving a blank container.
And it may not be till 2026, 2027. LeBron James had his own signature shoe his rookie year.
It's understandable why Clark saw Adidas as the Titanic's final hope. It's not as simple as changing your socks to go from Nike to Adidas these days. There will be more drama than Thanksgiving with the Trump family. As we speak, Nike's lawyers are most likely honing their pencils in preparation for a battle that will be dirtier than a Mar-a-Lago mud wrestling match. However, Clark has one advantage that could make Nike regret their expensive sneakers. The worst part is that Clark may be preparing to leave for Europe more quickly than Trump can tweet witch hunt. Why? Because athletes in Europe are actually allowed to wear multiple brands without facing legal repercussions. For footwear, it's similar like transitioning from a dictatorship to a democracy.
Phenomenal things in the WNBA. They did phenomenal things for women's basketball that should have been appreciated, but nevertheless were not.
Clark might be giggling uncontrollably while sporting Adidas on the court and Nike off. Take a moment to forget about European bidets. It's not just comfortable seats and high-end shoes that cause Clark's contract trouble. It's starting a domino effect that has the potential to completely change women's sports. How? To put it mildly, Nike's error could be the help of the century. We're not merely seeing a contract dispute, ladies and gentlemen. The marketing of women's sports is undergoing a change. When it comes to endorsement deals, female athletes have been given less consideration for years. The properties are all owned by men in suits, as if they have been playing Monopoly. However, Clark's predicament is poised to alter the course of events more quickly than Trump can tweet "Kafif." There is more at stake here than just one basketball player receiving preferential treatment. It's about establishing a new benchmark for how companies treat female athletes. Imagine a society in which female athletes are not viewed as marketing gimmicks, but rather as the superstars they are. Consider it. If Clark is able to use her skills to land a $20 million contract with Adidas, why can't other women do the same? Similar to dominoes, but with multi-million-dollar contracts in place of tiny tiles. All of a sudden, companies will be rushing to recruit the next big female athlete before their rivals do. Not to be overlooked is the WNBA. This might be the catalyst they need to begin compensating their athletes fairly. No more playing abroad or taking on side jobs to supplement your income. It's possible that WNBA players will eventually earn the same as their male colleagues. Crazy, huh? As insane as Trump's wind tunnel hairstyle. The worst part is that women's sports may benefit from this disaster. Yes, you heard correctly. Brands may become more competitive to sign female athletes as a result of all this controversy. Do you understand what competition entails? More visibility, better offers, and perhaps even some respect. Everyone wins, maybe except for our arteries, when many fast food restaurants compete to make the finest chicken sandwich.